Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you for coming and hearing. I thought I'd talk a little bit about the book, my next book, which is written just in the production department. Hope to have it in the early in the coming year. The Vanaprastha Adventure. In the Varnashram Dharma, Varnashram Dharma divides human society into 4 social sections and 4 spiritual sections. The occupational divisions are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. There should be an intellectual section, there should be a management and ruling section, there should be a business and agriculture section, and then a general assistance section. These are the varnas. And the ashramas are brahmachari, grhastha, vanaprastha, sannyas. Brahmachari means student life, grhastha is family life, vanaprastha is retired life, and sannyas is renounced life. So these divisions form the substance of the Vedic social system, just as you have in a cloth you have warp and woof, you have the vertical and the horizontal threads. So we have these threads of Varna and Ashram. Varna and Ashram are different from Krishna consciousness. Finally, the goal is Krishna consciousness. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Naham vipro nacha nadapatir napi vaisho nashudro. I'm not a Brahmin or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra. Naham varni nacha grihapatir no pi no vanasto yati va. I'm also not a brahmachari or a grhastha or a vanaprastha or a sannyasi. Kintu prodyan nikila paramananda premamriter gopi bhart. What is that? Yes. Kintu prodyan nikila yes. I'll get it tomorrow. Gopi Bharta Padagamalaya Dasa Dasa Dasa. My real identity is that I'm a servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. Gopi Bharta Padagamalaya Dasa Dasa. So I'm not a brahmachari, I'm not a grhastha, I'm not any of these things. Yes. Kintu Prodyan. Nikila Prem Panamananda Prem Ritab there. Yeah. Gopi Bharta Padakamalaya. So the real goal is to be a pure servant of Krishna. But the Varnashram helps us. There must be some kind of social system. Man is a social animal. Something must be there. In Kali Yuga, everything gets mixed up. Nobody's anything, or everybody's everything. And it doesn't work very well. No one knows what they're supposed to do, what their duty is. But in the Vedic system, Varnashram system, everyone has some duty to perform according to their situation, according to their occupation, according to their stage along the way. And that helps us live in Krishna consciousness, because then there's a social system that's meant ultimately for fostering Krishna consciousness. Varnashram acharavata purushena parapuman Vishnu arajate pantananyata toshakarnam. The Varnashram system is ultimately meant for bringing us into engagement in devotional service to Krishna. So when we speak of Varnashram, it's supportive, it's supplementary, it's not the ultimate purpose, but it helps us. So among the ashrams, first comes the brahmacharya ashram, spiritual training. Now these days they think, oh, brahmacharya's ashram's not necessary. Anyway, everyone's going to get married, so why bother with the brahmacharya ashram at all? But the brahmacharya ashram is where the student gets training in character, in understanding how to be a cultured human being, how to become Krishna conscious. These are all there in brahmacharya training, so that if he gets married, he's got some substance in him. He knows something about the goal of life, about how to control the mind, how to control the senses, how to be a servant of the Lord and the Lord's devotees. All of this is taught in the brahmacharya ashram. If the brahmachari likes, he can remain brahmachari all life. Otherwise, he can get married. Marriage is generally recommended, say, 25 years. Brahmachari life begins from 5 years of age. And then at 25, one may go on to the Vanaprastha ashram. Not recommended that one wait till one is 35, 45. By that time it's already very late. But say 20, 25, all right, now one may marry. And then there's family life with all of its duties, responsibilities. Some work has to be there, money has to be there. Relatives have to be satisfied. Husband and wife have to be satisfied. So there's so many. That home has to be there. Brahmachari doesn't need much. 5 or 6 feet of land and little dal rice or chapatis, and he's set. But for Grhastha life, some home has to be there, some land should be there, some money should be there. Relatives who are already there. A job has to be there or there'll be no money. And all of these things are part of family life. They're not wrong. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, seeing the... Now, who was he talking about? He was talking about Vasudev Dutt, one of the close associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Vasudev Dutt. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said he has to save some money. He's a family man. Without some accumulation of money, how will he manage? So he appointed Shivananda Sen, another associate, you look after his treasury. Because money is needed in family life. Brahmacharis recommended don't keep any money. Krishna will see to it. But in family life, money is there, therefore work. And so many other children have to be taken care of. So the family life is meant to be another stage for spiritual advancement. The husband and wife together will chant Hare Krishna, serve Krishna, and that makes family life, as Prabhupada said, congenial as far as possible. But the family life is not meant to be permanent. It can't be permanent because everyone's going to die, and that's the end of the family life. In Bhagavatam it's said that the members of the family are like travelers who are going on, moving about for business, and at the end of the day they check into some inn, some hotel. And of course now things are different, but in the old days they would, all be together. They'd have dinner and share their stories about what they're doing, and they'd get to know one another and become friends and all of that, and drink, of course. But anyway, they would spend a good portion of their time that way, and then they would take rest. And then the next morning they all get up and go in their different directions. So they're friends and buddies and acquaintances for one night, and the next morning they're heading out in different directions. So by destiny, or by Krishna's arrangement, we come together for some days as family members, husband and wife and children and parents and other relatives. And that lasts for some time, basically overnight. Because soon, even Brahma, 1 year of our time is 1 moment of his time. So our family life doesn't last but a few moments. And then all the family members die, and then we all go to some other destination. Either we go back to Godhead or we go on to another lifetime. But the family doesn't stay together. Sometimes we hear some of our Western friends, and they're hoping that in the next life the family will still be together. No. And moving in different directions. With another example from the Bhagavatam is that we're like in the ocean, there's seaweed and stuff floating on the water, and it floats and floats, and sort of a batch comes together and floats, bobs on the water. And then by the bobbing of the water, all little pieces go in different directions again. Oh, that's how it is. Because the relationship is in relation to this body. Someone from whom I'm born, I say that's my mother, that's my father, in terms of the bodily connection. This is my son, this is my daughter, this is my brother, these are my... all in terms of the body. And the body will be finished. Jatasyahu hi dhruvo mrityu. That's for sure. So then when the body is finished, the family identity is finished. You know the story about the Harsha Shoka. Who was that? He was the son of Chitraketu. Yeah. The son had a king. The king had a son, but the son was died or was killed. And his father was lamenting terribly, father and mother. So then the sage Angira Rishi came and said, you said to the boy, the dead boy, or your parents are lamenting for you, why don't you come back? So the boy came back, he said, in what birth were these people my parents? I've been through so many births. In which birth were they my father and mother? In this way, the child spoke gave some instructions about the spiritual identity of the soul, and then left. So, by nature's arrangement, we're together as family members for some time. And we can make use of that time for chanting Hare Krishna, for reading Bhagavad Gita and spiritual books. Of course, we have all of our other duties. But without this duty, then this family life is essentially useless. If we don't do anything more than eat and sleep and mate and make sure we have security, then it's basically polished animal life. It's not considered human life, because human life is meant for spiritual realization. Without spiritual realization, it's not effectively human life. So in the family life, the family members are meant to cultivate Krishna consciousness alongside of other duties. And then at some point one should retire. We're not going to work forever. We're not going to be in our posts forever. We won't even want to be in our posts or jobs forever. In the beginning, one builds up, just like now Gopal Champu, he started a family, he started a career, he's building up his network, he's having some success in his business. You purchase someplace also, something is there, some flat or some. So this is all when we get married, so we build up these things. And it's a little exciting, a little challenging, a little unsure, but we work at it. But later it becomes dull, burdensome, frustrating, because biology is moving us along. The same kind of engagements that were exciting when we were 25 or 30 become laborious and burdensome when we're 50 or 60. And therefore, then that's one reason why we're recommended. No, don't go on working and working. Retire from these engagements. And the other reason is because we have to enhance our spiritual understanding, because old age is the sign of that the next stage will be death. There are 6 changes that every body goes through. The body appears, then the body grows, then stays for some time, then there's some byproducts, children, then body dwindles, and then body dies. All of these changes are natural for the body. So we're probably at our peak maybe around 30, 35. If you look at it as a curve, our energy is strong by about 30, 35, where you've seen the changing bodies illustration. So at 35, we're on top of our game. But by after that, really, the curve is starting to go down, first a little bit and then quite precipitously. Because that's the effect of old age. Even a machine, you get in, it's all new and shiny. And after a while, it gets a little nicked up, and after a while, parts need replacement, and after a while, it's too much trouble to maintain anymore. It's just, can't get it to work, it's not worth the trouble. And the body is yantra rudhani maya, the body is a machine. This body also becomes first full of energy and vigor, but later this problem and that problem. And then you speak to old people and the conversation is, how's your leg feeling? Oh, it's much better. And how about your back? Oh, the back is... And then my diabetes, and I'm taking this medicine, and the doctor has recommended this, and I'm on a trial for that, and how are you doing? Well, I'm taking this, and it seems to be working, and swapping information about our decrepitude and what we can do about it. This is what happens inevitably to the body. It's some people faster, some slower, some more, radically, severely, some a little more gently. But finally the body is running down, and then the next stage is going to be finished. So before the stage comes finished, we're meant to become detached from this bodily identification. We're all in this material world because of identifying falsely with the body, the mind, the senses, and trying to enjoy something in this material world. And in married life, that attachment is particularly strong because the connection between man and woman is strongly solidifies that knot in the heart by which I feel I'm this and this is mine. So to get free from material existence, that knot is meant to be loosened. Freedom means you have to loosen the ropes. So that's another purpose of retired life. The materialists, they think that retired life is meant for increasing their attachments. Buy a bigger place, or buy an exclusive place, and enjoy this and enjoy that, and travel to this city and travel to that city, and see this and see that. It's all strengthening our material attachments, and then we go from we attend this wedding, and we attend this graduation, and we attend this anniversary, and all based on the false identity of the body. And in this way we waste our valuable time, because durlabha manava janma, this human life is difficult to achieve. And it only lasts for a short time. But in this human life one can achieve the greatest benefit. But one has to see to it. It doesn't happen automatically. So the Vanaprastha life, or retired life, is meant for increased spiritual cultivation. Panchashordam banam brajet. Actually, by the age of 50, one is meant to accept the Vanaprastha life. Pretty quick. One gets married at, say, 25, and by 50 it's already time to close up the enterprise. But that's the Vedic injunction. Don't stay till 60, 70, 80, 50. In previous days, the Vanaprasthas would literally go to the forest to perform tapasya and become detached from material life. In the present age, that's no longer possible. There are no forests really suitable to go to. And if we went to some forest, the park rangers would kick us out. But there's Vrindavan. Vrindavan is a forest. There are other holy places like Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, and many others. Sometimes the householders would travel together to different holy places just to purify their existence. Or sometimes the husband would travel to the holy places while the wife stayed home with the grown sons. Or sometimes the Vanaprasthas would go live in one place like Mayapur, Puri, Vrindavan, and stay there. Now, so many years we worked in Jersey City or whatever. So now let us retire to a holy place, because in the Jersey City or in Cupertino or wherever it is, it's all about work, it's all about money, it's all about social affairs. But in places like Mayapur, Vrindavan, it's all about Krishna. So let us go to some place where everything is centered on Krishna. There's hearing, there's chanting, there's festivals, there's sadhu sangha. Let us go there and focus on these things. In family life, we have no time. We always hear this from our family people. Oh, Maharaj, I have no time. What should I do? I have no time for hearing, no time for reading. Oh, in retired life, there's time. And one can use that time for chanting Hare Krishna, hearing about Krishna, discussing about Krishna, serving Krishna. The householder life, the Vanaprastha life is different from sannyas. In sannyas, no connection at all between husband and wife, finished. But the Vanaprastha life is in between. It's not family life and it's not sannyas. So householders, the husband and wife may still stay together. They may serve together. There's no sex in Vanaprastha life, but together they may serve. In my book, there's interviews with different Vanaprasthas, ISKCON devotees, and one said that I told my GBC member or friend, a sannyasi friend, that now we're becoming Vanaprasthas. And then the sannyasi said, oh, so you'll see less of one another. He said, no, actually we'll see more of one another, because he was always traveling, working. Now we'll serve together and do some Krishna seva. So it may be more, it may be less, depending on the individual circumstance, because it's not a cookie cutter that every Vanaprastha comes out the same. Everyone is an individual, but the idea is that we focus on spiritual advancement and Krishna consciousness, and give up those things that are just in the way, that are distractions that we may have picked up in our householder journey. Now we can get rid of some of that old baggage and pick up this real purpose with renewed enthusiasm. And I do have more to say about all these things, but maybe I'll stop here and leave a little time for questions, if you have any, if there are any bubbling up.
So, with the giving up of family life, does that mean necessarily that Vanaprastha will always lead to sannyas, or that if the husband and wife are preaching...
Does Vanaprastha always lead to sannyas? It may or may not. But it either leads to sannyas or it leads to death. That's for sure. It's
only two options.
Yeah, there's only, I mean, you can go backwards again, like a crab, but no, it's either we accept, the man either accepts his sannyas, all right, now you return home and I'm leaving, or eventually dies. There's no happily ever after, we stay together. No. Usually the man, most often, men die, the man dies sooner. Women have slightly, on average, longer lifetimes, a couple years.
5 or 10 years.
That's, no, not that much. About 3 to 5, I think, roughly. I'm going from memory. But also, men tend to marry women who are a little younger than they are. So when you put those two things together, on average, the husband dies first, although it's not a sure thing, but it may be. But in any case, you know, the husband is thinking, what will my wife do without me? How will she get on? I can't take sannyas because then what will happen to my wife? All right, you're going to die anyway. Then who takes care? It's another kind of falsity that we're thinking everything depends on me. In first canto Bhagavatam, we find that after the Kurukshetra war, Dhritarashtra and Gandhari were staying in the palace of Maharaj Yudhisthira as the respected elderly aunt and uncle. But by the influence of Vidura, Dhritarashtra suddenly left home and went to the forest, and Gandhari followed him. And Yudhisthira woke up in the morning and went to pay them his respects. Where did they go? So he asked Sanjay. Sanjay said, they've cheated me. Without even telling me, they've gone off. So then Yudhisthira felt sorry. He felt that they must have felt that I had disrespected them in some way. They must have felt some difficulty. So now they've gone off in disappointment to the Himalayas. What can I do? What can I do? And just then Narada appeared, and he told him, what are you thinking? And he said, I have to do something. You're thinking, how will these poor creatures get on without me? This is illusion. No one's dependent on you. Finally, everything is in the hand of Krishna. And apart from that, there's nothing you can do, because Dhritarashtra within 3 days will leave his body in a mystic fire before you could even get there. But still we're thinking, if I don't work, if I don't do this, if I don't do that, what will happen to my wife, what will happen to my children? But inevitably, they go on living, with or without us. So we have to develop that philosophical understanding also, that I'm not the person who's sustaining the universe. Krishna is doing that. And my duty for some time is to maintain the family, maintain the wife, children. And at some point my duty is, all right, now move on. Now, these are all themes in retired life, and then perhaps sannyas.
Will you in your book have various scenarios of different Vanaprasthas and how they...
Yeah, the book...
In the Vedas it doesn't really explain too much about Vanaprastha life that's applicable, I think. You know.
The book has 2 parts. The first part tells about teachings and instructions about these various questions. And the second part is interviews with Vanaprasthas from ISKCON contemporary Vanaprasthas, from which we see the different ways that they're going about it. Basically, in Prabhupada's books, I've seen 3 systems. One is that the husband and wife travel together to holy places. Vidura went to different holy places. That's an ancient custom, you can say. Become purified by visiting holy places. Or another system is that they go and live in a holy place. And the third system is come and go. A husband may go off, travel, preach, then come back, see how things are going on, check in, and head out again. And these 3 systems can be with husband and wife together, or just the husband on his own. So you multiply times 2, you get 6 different systems. Prabhupada doesn't explicitly say that, but that's what I've seen.
Isn't there also optional, although I know it's rare in ISKCON, where the husband and wife actually engage in active preaching? In
That's definitely. Vanaprastha doesn't mean that I do nothing. Bhakti Yoga means service. It's not that I retire from service. I may retire from government service. As Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they retired from government service, but they never retired from Krishna's service. They were more engaged. So that's definitely, husband and wife can go stay at a temple. Someone's husband is the pujari, the wife is the secretary, or the other way around, or whatever. There can be so much cooking, serving the deity, preaching. Sure, that's ideal. And I have interviews with Vanaprasthas in ISKCON. That's what they do.
I think the central issue to Vanaprastha life is that we are all creatures of habit. We develop a real strong tendency to do things in the same way over many years.
Yeah.
What would you say to break that tendency to continue on the way we have continued on?
In the book, I've got what I call the Vanaprastha checklist. It's things that we can change. Not that I abruptly one day say, all right, that's it. Of course, that's also good, but on the way, all right, let me change this. Let me cancel my Netflix subscription. Right? I don't need I can go back to Godhead without the Netflix. Let me cancel my Netflix subscription. Okay, tick that box, finished. Then another box, another box, another box. What is unnecessary? What is holding us back in Krishna consciousness? What can we add? How can we increase the sadhu sangha? How can we increase Krishna seva? How can we increase our sadhana? And that's all. Tick a box, tick a box. And after a while, you've ticked a lot of boxes. One at a time, or abruptly, one may also, okay, we're enough, quick, just like I had, like pulling a Band-Aid, you can do it slowly or quickly. Sometimes it's better just quick, do it. But one way or the other, not to remain every day same, and imperceptibly death overtakes us. But while we still have our energy, while we still have our wits about us, because that's also not guaranteed, while we still have sound minds, make a move, change, move forward. And it's not the unhappy business, it's happier business to free ourselves from so many unwanted things. Why did we come finally? We came because spiritual Krishna consciousness is more important than material advancement. It's happier than material life. So let me rearrange things now so I can be more engaged in that way. It begins with consciousness. All right, I'm going to do this. Let me plan. Even not that now I'm going to do this. When we get married, all right, what's the plan? Not that, on your wedding day you have to be planning for sannyas, but the idea is that, all right, this is going to last for this long. What's our plan? What's our plan? And the plan may change somewhat over time or be adjusted, but what's our plan? Because if I don't know where I'm going, how am I going to get there? So this is, and that affects my expenditures. That expects, if I'm planning to retire from family life at, say, 50, 55, I'm probably not going to want to have another child when I'm 45. It's just common sense. But if I have no plan, then I'm not in control. Then I'm helpless. I'd like to retire, but my son is just starting college and da-da-da-da-da. And I have to work another 8 years. Da-da-da-da-da. But if you have a plan, then you can follow it. Okay? This, then this, then this, then this. So it's relevant not just for people who are of retirement age, but the planning starts actually brahmachari life. Why should our boy become a brahmachari? Well, because he should become a good grhastha, and then he should be able to move on from family life. You don't want to be in circumstances like Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu knew how to enter the Chakravyuha, but he didn't know how to get out. So we don't want to be householders who know how to get into householder life, but have no idea how to get out. So that kind of, so it begins with consciousness. What is my goal in life? And then what are my steps? Then if the consciousness is there, then we can implement the practical details. And it may be a little this way, a little that way, but we can do it. The main thing is change in consciousness. We have copies of this book, meanwhile, Prabhupada's Kirtan Standards. Something to read before you retire. And we do have a few copies.
Let me ask another question, if I may. Is there, or are you aware of any kind of Grihastha network in ISKCON? Or I know not Grihastha, but Vanaprastha. I know there's a Grihastha ministry. Is there something similar?
I'm praying that there not be a Vanaprastha ministry, another bureaucracy to recommend that before you become a Vanaprastha, you fill out a form in triplicate and submit it to such and such authority, and you go on a list and all that kind of stuff. There is a group at Bhaktivedanta Manor of Vanaprasthas who meet in some regular schedule. And
yes, I was wondering. Yeah. Not necessarily some bureaucratic thing, but some kind of network thing. So.
Yeah. There's our devotee there, Krishna Purna Devi, is leader of that group. Quite a sizable group, actually, and quite serious about moving forward.
I think the real key is the incremental approach, that because we are such creatures of habit that we take little steps, and then after a while we begin to realize we can take bigger steps.
Yeah.
And,
I heard a podcast by an entrepreneur. He explained how he got started in his business and how it grew and so on. At the end, they asked him, what would be your advice for new entrepreneurs? his advice was, do something. Because if you do something, then you can do the next thing. It may be the smallest thing, but if you do something, if you make a start, then the way opens up for your next step, and then it may become a flourishing business. But if you never do anything, you'll never go anywhere. So, yes, do something, and then Krishna will help us. All right, he's done this much, let's help him out. And you'll get the intelligence to Dhammi Buddhi Yogam Tam, how to make progress, and ultimately how to go back to Godhead.
And just like in business, there's risk, so in Vanaprastha there's risk also.
There's risk. And in business they say the successful CEOs are those who are willing to take risk. They may sometimes get it right, and they may sometimes get it wrong, but they'll do something. And those who are absolutely risk averse will never do anything, so they'll never go anywhere. So risk, yes, some risk. In my Vanaprastha checklist, most of the items to be checked are free from risk, actually. There's no risk if I give up my Netflix subscription.
Well, they might have to call the emergency medical team or something like that for withdrawal from Netflix.
From Netflix, yeah. So most of the steps are no risk steps, not even painful. There are a few that are risky. If I decide to end my career a little early, there may be some risk financially. So in business, it's not that we're against risk, but risk should be evaluated and managed. There's also the risk that if I don't quit early, I'll die. I won't live to get to collect any of my pension benefits. So we manage risk. And ultimately, we cultivate Krishna consciousness, because when I'm Krishna conscious, fine, there's no risk. The soul is not going to be in peril because he didn't collect his pension benefits. But in any case, most of the steps don't involve genuine risk. And then even if I become a Vanaprastha, how much risk I want to undertake, that's up to me. If you want to go preach in Iran, okay, you can do that. Jersey City, there's less risk. Queens. But Riyadh, yes, there'll be more risk. But that's up to you. Prabhupada took enormous risk, which proved fortunate. Increasing our chanting, increasing our reading, increasing our deity worship, visiting more holy places. These are not high-risk items, but they're high benefit.
I think also as you advance in age, whether you're a Vanaprastha or whatever ashram you're in, that the concept of increasing the quality of your chanting, I think, is very central to the general feeling that you want to move forward.
Yeah, the more we chant Hare Krishna, the more we'll make progress, and the more we'll want to make progress.
At some point, we have to actually take our own life in our hands and say that somehow I want to chant much better than I do now.
Yes. That's central. And that's finally our point. It's not just to go to the forest. What am I going to do in the forest? I'll eat berries and nuts. That you can do in Manhattan. But it's to chant Hare Krishna more, to chant Hare Krishna better. Sure. Because that chanting means purifying the heart and advancing toward love for Krishna, which is our ultimate goal, prema pumarto mahan.
And to try to volunteer into more of an integral commitment and involvement in various types of service. The more
That maybe, again, it's individual. Someone, they don't want to do anything in the temples for, the next 5 years. They want to do something else. But that opportunity is there, that let us just dedicate ourselves to serving the temple. Our Vrindavan Chandra, late Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu in Tuakar, he was actually looking forward. His wife moved into the temple, then he finished off his career and he moved into the temple. And then for so many decades together they were serving.
And then suddenly he died by slipping on.
Yeah, and disappeared and, left this world surrounded by kirtan and everything after, spending so many years serving in the temple. How wonderful. He didn't think, no, I have to work till the very end. I have to attend this wedding. I have to attend that funeral. I have to watch this soccer match. He was fully engaged in Krishna service. So we can do that. We can. Temples require so much service. We can cook. We can preach. You have a lifetime of experience. So when younger people have questions, people have questions about their marriage, typically about their family life, and they come to a sannyasi for answers to their questions. What do we know?
We skipped that one.
we skip it. But the sannyasi preachers the Vanaprasthas, what should we do? The Vanaprasthas have experience. They can, in practical affairs, family affairs, business affairs, they can help guide. We stop here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're going to do a little quick pitch for your books, we should do that now and then move on.
Well, this is the book, Srila Prabhupada's Kirtan Standards. It's a basic text that collects instructions from Srila Prabhupada about how to do kirtan. What should we chant? What should we not chant? What should be our mood? What should be the instruments? What should be the tunes? What should be pretty much everything. So I pulled them together in this book, Srila Prabhupada's Kirtan Standards, a handbook. So it's meant to be. My other book was really for an outside audience, Vanity Karma. We don't have copies here, but that's for an outside audience. This is really for our own devotees. So it's meant to be for anyone who cares about Prabhupada's standards for kirtan, who wants to know what did he do, why did he do it, what did he tell us to do. So that's Prabhupada's Kirtan Standards. It's $15.95 or whatever you like. And we hope that every devotee will have a copy in their home or in their hand and take advantage. That's the story. Who doesn't have a copy and is burning with desire to get a copy? No one, as usual. Okay, let's say...